So Bleach chapter 491 review, and I was really looking forward to this chapter because last chapter was interesting with Kirge's transformation, as well as his alluding to the possibility, or in his case fact, that Ryu was supposed to be a hell of a lot stronger than he is, and this guy is taking on Ichigo, no sweat, but then again Ichigo's not in Bankai. So last chapter, after Ichigo mentioned that Kirge's arrows are much stronger than Ryu's, he replies with, "My arrows are weaker than Ryu's? That's impossible." Not, "Oh, maybe." He said it's impossible. So he's implying that Ryu is a hell of a lot stronger than the guy who's currently taking on Ichigo. So that's a scary thought. That's because I knew Ryu's going to play some major plot, Ryu or his dad, because they're Quincy's, and this is the Quincy arc, and it's the final arc. You know, there's no way they're not going to play some major part, and at this point, it feels like they're going to be. It's going to be a major point, like a turning point, like a balls to the wall, holy shit moment, like finding out Aizen's still alive, or finding out Yami's the Zero Espada, something like that. It's going to be something huge, I'm hoping. So yeah, sorry, I'm used to metal review, so I say album. The chapter starts off with Orihime wondering what's going on with all the Ryatsu, I think it's called Ryatsu, disappearing. Why she can't sense any of it, because the entire Mundo is made of Ryatsu, Reishi, like the Soul Society or Seirete, whatever, and she finds it weird, and you see Kirge behind, and it's an epic pose with his wing, and Ichigo is just like, holy shit. And the one problem I have with this chapter, and it's actually a problem with Kirge himself, is that he monologues his ass off, especially in this chapter. And the title is called Toten Engel, or Angel, I'm pretty sure it's Engel, which means Death Angel. I actually didn't read the translation, I actually knew that from the little bits of German that I know. Minimal. And now I wondered how Ichigo knew about Letzer Steel. I'm not sure I pronounced that right, but in the previous chapter he mentions it, and I was wondering, did Ryu just like tell him after the Soul Society arc or something, or whatever, or before they left to Wakamundo? So it shows Urahara explaining all about it, and saying, oh, remember how he lost his powers before the form was the reason for that. With the glove, and we all know the glove, it takes the spirit particles around them, the reishi, and then you get the point. It comes into the glove, they rip the thing off, and you saw the fight with Mayuri. You already know what goes down. So yeah, that's the Let's Steal. I can't pronounce it right, but he explains that, of course, that it's the last thing that they use, and they lose their powers directly after using it, and Ichigo is wondering if it's the same move, because if this guy is using the same move, then after this fight, he's fucked. He loses his powers. But yeah, it doesn't appear to be that way. Kirge is attacking him. Ichigo is easily on the defensive, not even getting a hit in, and he manages to get a scratch on Ichigo's face, and he mentions that the Let's Steal, the move that Ryu was using, was used over 200 years ago, and it sort of died out, and that Soken Ishida, Ryu's grandfather, was more or less one of the ones who kept using it when it stopped being used. So in a way, it's like an inferior technique, and he's basically saying that the Quincy Volstandig, or whatever you want to call it, is... he said he compares it as being different as heaven and earth, so as you imagine, it's a lot more powerful, and he's taking on Ichigo, so yeah. And I don't know if it's just me, it feels like he can read his mind. I don't know if that's the case. He sort of says it in a way like, oh, let me see into your mind, and I'm like, can he read minds, or is he just being an asshole? I think it's maybe both. But Ichigo pops out a Getsuga Tensho, which was, it's a pretty epic panel, and it just right into Kirge's face, and then the smoke cloud dissipates, and I knew nothing was going to happen, because, I mean, he was doing decent against him back before he transformed, but this is basically the Quincy's version of Bankai. So you know how Bleach is. It's not like Naruto where there's in-depth fighting and strategy. This is a complete one-up fest. It goes like this. They're fighting, transforms, kicks your ass, you have to transform to beat him. If he transforms again, you don't beat him till you transform. So I knew the moment he threw the Getsuga Tensho that Ichigo was probably not even going to lay a scratch on him. The only way he's going to maybe win is to pull off a Bankai. So yeah, and you see Ichigo's Zanpakuto, Zangetsu against Kirge's neck. I'm assuming he's sort of swinging at him with the Getsuga Tensho and not a scratch on him. And he's still monologuing too, still talking shit. Yeah, and then things get 4 times worse, as I expected. He sticks his sword up into the air and he starts gathering Reishi. And at that moment, on that big-ass panel, I was like, oh no. I already know it's going down here because we saw it in the Soul Society arc. He's going to gather up an assload of power and then just destroy everything with it. So he's gathering the Reishi, and he's even taking away the Santen Keshin shield, bubble shield, it appears to be in the panel by Orihime. It's like peeling away, and she's just like, huh? And that's pretty badass to be able to take away Orihime's shield. So Kirge is charging up the Reitsu, and it's a lot. It's fucking huge. It's like much bigger than that wing-looking thing that Ryu had in the Soul Society arc. And he calls it the Volstandig Biskel, whatever. And it supposedly means divine justice or whatever. And next thing you know, you see it shatter, and there's like a fist. It looks like a fist of some kind. And I was just like, oh damn. And next thing you know, fist to the face. Kirge receives just a really big fist to the face. You can't even see most of his face. You just see the top half of his head, and then most of the panel is just one really big ass fist. And that was my favorite moment of the chapter, probably because I was just like, in your face. And I wondered exactly what it was. I was hoping for Grimmjow, to be honest. I was hoping for Grimmjow to show up for the first time already in his resurrection form and just see a claw sticking out of the back of Kirge's head, and then Grimmjow just being like, I'm back, or something like that. But it's Ion, and which it pissed me off, and at the same time I was like, yeah, because one, it's backup, so Kirge is going to stop bitching, or he's going to stop antagonizing Ichigo for a little bit, I guess. But the problem was, when he beat the Hallibel's faction, I assumed that they had already entered their resurrection state and or already used Ion, or it's double L is Spanish, so it's probably Ion, and then it has a Y sometimes, so yeah, Ion. So I was wondering, okay, you're just going to get your ass whooped again, and I honestly can't imagine that someone who can take on Ichigo, no sweat, he's not in Bankai form, but anyone who can take out Ichigo in his Shikai form, no sweat, should be able to take out Ion, especially since the faction, Hallibel's faction are weakened. Now, Yamamoto was able to take that thing out with ease, just one flick of his sword, and basically Shikai. But, so it's kind of hard to judge the power of that thing, because there wasn't any struggle fight, like, evenly. The only fight was, there was Ion kicking the ass out of several lieutenants, which was pretty impressive, so we know he's decent strength, and Yamamoto taking him out in one swing. So I'm not exactly sure the strength of Ion, so he may pose a challenge, but I don't think he's going to win. I think the next chapter is going to involve Kirge defeating Ion, and Ichigo's going to take over, or somebody else is going to handle it. I don't really know, but I truthfully don't see Ion, especially since most of the time whenever someone shows their power, usually their Bankai, not so much as their Shikai, whenever they show their main source of power, that's it for them. They usually don't get as many big moments, like, sometimes you do, but, I mean, he showed up, he kicked ass against lieutenants, and then he got beat by Yamamoto. I can't imagine he'll get any kind of real redemption in this next chapter. I don't think he's going to beat Kirge, especially with the power that he had. Now knowing that he's there, if he unleashes that on him, that's going to be dangerous. So, we'll see. But, all in all, this was a pretty good chapter. I'm really loving this arc. I'm going to do, tomorrow, probably do a recap of the, so far, of the Quincy arc. And, yeah, I'm loving the hell out of this arc. So, this was a good chapter. Hoping the next one will be a little better. that's it. Read it if you haven't already. I can't imagine that you wouldn't have, and that's it.